The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. Maybe it's a saying that inspires you and fuels your motivation, the perfect phone lock screen to start your day off right. Or maybe it's just a backhanded phrase your mom uses to get you off the couch. Either way, these well-quoted words of Nelson Mandela, though motivating to some, actually pressures many youth. It places immense responsibility on our shoulders to be the leaders of tomorrow, to spearhead the world's most pressing issues, to literally change the world. From Nobel Prize-winning, cancer-curing youth activists to million-dollar youth nonprofits, the evolving landscape for youth innovation makes becoming a young entrepreneur more accessible than ever. Despite this, young people are still scared to innovate. Only 6% of business ideas are being actualized. And according to RBC Economics, only 1.7% of all Canadian entrepreneurs are below the age of 30. These numbers highlight society's sky-high expectations, which pressures teens and young adults to only enact earth-shattering endeavors, where smaller-scale initiatives are seen more or less as a waste of time. As a young entrepreneur myself, I know this all too well. Throughout my entrepreneurial journey, I've struggled a lot with feelings of pressure and inadequacy. Establishing my Indigenous small jewelry business this past summer, I had my doubts. What could a small bracelet business ever do for the world? Alas, it was through the process where I realized that the scale of impact or the end result wasn't the only thing that mattered, but rather the lessons I've learned along the way. Through the stages of entrepreneurship, I found value not only in achieving my monetary goals, but in the one-of-a-kind experiences I got to encounter, problem solving through sticky situations, and of course, all the connections I'd made along the way. Now, this may seem cliche, but if there's anything I learned, it's that true change stems not from grandiose gestures, but from small incremental steps of growth. Thus, in this TED Talk, I want to teach you all aspiring entrepreneurs everything I learned on my journey as a young entrepreneur. I'm going to teach you how to make bracelet. Beginning with the foundation of an entrepreneurial journey, the string that holds it all together. Just like how the string of a bracelet supports its beads, your underlying idea for your business must possess thoughtfulness and passion. Be it a particular problem in your community, a familial challenge, or simply just sharing your passion with the world. The key to successful entrepreneurial endeavors lies in choosing a cause that genuinely resonates with you. My string first started spinning back in elementary school, where I learned that 28 Indigenous communities in Ontario still don't have access to clean drinking water. Ever since then, my passion for Indigenous issues has been unwavering. However, it was only after I went to this conference in Toronto where I got to hear this Indigenous teacher speak, passionately expressing heartfelt stories and shifting my point of view, where I realized that something needed to be done. Now, having profound passion for your entrepreneurial journey is crucial for a few reasons. Firstly, it fuels motivation. When you're clearly excited and passionate about your business, others are more likely to as well. Secondly, it imbues our work with meaning. By aligning our goals with our passions, we're able to infuse even the simplest products with purpose, from meaningful naming to thoughtful design. Now, you may be wondering, hey Kaitlyn, how do I know if my idea is even the right idea in the first place? And the key is not cutting yourself off and never being closed-minded about your idea, no matter how ridiculous or small it may seem. Because entrepreneurship doesn't require extravagant processes or foundations. Let's take a few examples. Apple was launched in Steve Jobs' parents' garage. In fact, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Walt Disney all started out in garages. Facebook was conceived of in a college dorm room. The infamous slap bracelet, a staple of elementary school fashion, made the innovative elementary school teacher millions. By having personal investment and interest, your entrepreneurial journey doesn't need to be dull. It doesn't need to lack satisfaction and drive. Because with it, we're not only able to find the means to push forward, we're also able to create something truly meaningful, both for ourselves, for others. Upon establishing a business idea that's meaningful for you, it's time to take that first step in making that vision come to life. Where the string is a firm belief in your cause, your first bead signifies commitment to your project. And though the notion of just getting started seems simple enough, this is often where most entrepreneurial journeys come to an end. Many startups and businesses never make it out of the planning phase. What's unique to youth entrepreneurs here is that though we may have less funds and resources, we also have a lot less to lose. Some great advice I've heard: just get started. Although it's good to have, a business plan and understand material costs, it's also okay to sit down without an elaborate 3-year plan and get started without knowing your next step. Because you never really know what to plan for until you embark on the process. Now, to visualize this, take the scenario we've all been in before. It's late at night, and you sit down to finally get started on that essay due the same night. Now, when you fear imperfection and scrutinize every little word on the page, it takes hours to form an initial idea. Whereas, when you just write down your immediate thoughts, get started, and engage immediately with your end goal, the essay comes together roughly, but quickly. And then it's really easy to see which pathway your essay is going and shift it in the way that you would like. Now, this philosophy applies to entrepreneurship because starting somewhere is better than never starting at all. The fear of imperfection and failure is inevitable. But by reminding yourself that in your youth is when you have the least to lose, it can really help you take those first steps. And for all those in the audience who don't consider themselves youth, don't worry. Everything today applies to anyone with a passion and a will to make it reality. So it's time to embrace our inner entrepreneur. And the Just Get Started mindset can help you take those first steps as well. But beyond hypothetical challenges, young people often face many barriers as they work towards their goals. Whereas many sources would highlight the physical barriers of starting a business, such as sunk costs and age restrictions. What's equally important to discuss is how to overcome the mental barriers that reverberate in our psyches. What do these mental barriers even look like? From self-doubt and imposter syndrome, the feelings of embarrassment and even shame. A young person's infatuation with other people's opinions of them stands as a key mechanism that really holds them back from helping their business achieve its full potential. In particular, imposter syndrome is a common beast to around 87% of entrepreneurs. first coined in 1978. Imposter syndrome manifests in the inability to recognize one's achievements, often downplaying their experiences and victories as unworthy. According to Harvard Business Review, 1/3 of young people today suffer from imposter syndrome. Personally, it's really impacted the way I was able to stand up straight and confidently pitch myself in a room full of adults, or feel genuinely proud of the work that I was doing. But what then can we do about imposter syndrome and the myriad of other mental blockages crowding our minds? Try taking a step back and focus on the small victories. Marinate less in the quantitative things, but rather in the quality of your own personal development, and amidst what you might perceive as a failure, such as a flawed marketing post or a failed product. It's crucial to reflect and remember that our worth is not defined by numbers. And when it comes to feeling embarrassed or afraid of judgment, try shifting your point of view. Realistically, no one's scrutinizing your every word. They're too busy worrying about their own lives. And for those who do, well, that usually comes from their own feelings of insecurity and jealousy. But by surrounding yourself with supportive people, people who can be your own personal cheerleaders and share your same goals, and you're not only able to create a mindset of growth, you're able to learn from mistakes with peace of mind. Speaking of challenges, I want to note that setbacks don't just have to be a battle in solitude. Having support and someone to lean on is crucial in overcoming the hurdles of becoming a young entrepreneur. When I first started making my bracelets, I realized that every time I would put some beads on, they would come rolling out of the other end of the string, causing a mess everywhere. Soon I realized I need some help holding things together. A good old piece of tape. And just like how tape holds things in place, support from those around you can help keep your ideas from falling apart. As a young person, asking for advice from those around you, like a parent, a teacher, or someone you admire, can often lead to valuable conversations and insights. So don't be afraid to reach out. For example, I cold emailed that Indigenous teacher after the conference I went to, and with many discussion calls, meeting her little son, and just her mentorship in general, I was able to understand her perspective and design a design that was meaningful. And to Jennifer, thank you for everything. Friends and family can also be a big help. My friends helped make the bracelets and sell them at local pop-up stores. My family even invested in my cause, helping me set up my online store and package my first order. And yes, as a control freak, I do admit that it was kind of hard to delegate tasks and work with others. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. Because just like how tape holds things in place, external support can be the tipping point in helping your vision come to life. Now, finally, after many failures and sore hands, you've completed your first bracelet. Congratulations. You've, planned for the future, gotten a team, made a brand, and have all the elements necessary for a successful launch. However, as you twiddle your thumbs waiting upon initiation, you might still feel hesitant. Maybe you're still scared to put yourself out there. Maybe you still fear judgment and failure. Maybe you're just held back by the pure lack of resources and knowledge on how to scale your business. But above all, I want to circle back to my absolute favorite quote, to just get started. Take advantage of all the resources you have, but especially YouTube and Google will be your best friends. But more importantly, focus less on the failures and just try to learn, to grow, and to shift your point of view. Now before we end, I want you all, yes everyone, to close your eyes and think of something that you're passionate about. It could be gender discrimination. It could be convincing your friends that Brussels sprouts are the best vegetable. But with that thought, I want you to go home and think about how you can turn that idea into reality. How can you start small? Who can you reach out to further explore the subject? How can you make a tangible impact? Be it through impacting one person, the members of your community, or even your friends and family, or potentially the world. And now, I want you to take a minute to examine this bracelet and imagine that your idea for innovation is that little orange bead. Alone, it may seem insignificant, like something just to kick under the rug. But when strung together with different beads of different shapes and sizes, you're able to make a bracelet brimming with value. This metaphor encapsulates the essence of the entrepreneurship, where no matter how small your initial idea is, it can grow and compound in time. Because realistically, maybe your ideas won't change the world. But embarking on such a journey offers unparalleled experiences capable of changing both your life and the lives of those around you. So, stop caring about what other people think. Stop stopping yourself before you can actualize your potential. Each entrepreneurial journey is valuable in its own unique ways. And with bracelet making now under your belt, I hope you'll consider embarking on your own entrepreneurial journey as well. Thank you.